ladies and gentlemen, I know I talk a lot about the type of people that women date because, generally, I have a lot of women that watch the channel, so I try to give them as best advice as I possibly can, especially for mothers, especially for women who have children. And we all need to be more cautious about who we date with our dating choices. But I got to tell you, this has got to be one of the wildest stories I've seen. The nature of it, the way he describes it. So I'm going to warn you guys that he's going to be explaining details of some crimes and murders that he committed in detail. Very graphic detail. So that is your disclaimer if you need to exit the video, but my opinions might bother you as well. So that's also your disclaimer if you need to exit the video. But nonetheless, I needed to let you guys know that because that's your forewarning. So this story comes out of Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton, just seconds into a half-hour interview in Virginia Beach Virginia Beach Jail. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. A man accused of second-degree murder, and I'm pretty sure that that's going to completely go out the window. He's going to be charged with straight-up murder and arson, admitted to shooting his girlfriend and setting her townhome on fire. Cola Beale IV. That's the man, and that's the woman that he was dating. That's the woman on the left. That's the man on the right-hand side. I don't know why I needed to describe that, but nonetheless, he told News 3 reporter Chelsea Donovan, and I'm getting this from WTKR.com, so thank you for the article. He told her that he snapped and shot his girlfriend, Shazavier Hill, who was 31 years old, shot her in the head because her parents kept confronting him about his future plans with their daughter. So some of this had to do with, is he going to go get a job? What is he going to do with his life? What is he trying to do with her? That's what parents do, because we try to make sure that whomever our daughters date or whomever our kids date, that they're choosing a correct mate, right? Like that's kind of an ongoing process, and hopefully that the children will make a good choice. And I think that this lady made the worst choice in a boyfriend probably ever. He said, I had a breaking point. Her mom kept calling and she was crying, Beale said. Beale said that he was fed up with her parents interfering in their relationship and her attitude changed. So he told Donovan that he shot his girlfriend, Shazavier Hill, in the head inside her Virginia Beach townhome last Tuesday. He said, I pulled up her dog in the room and I was going to set her dog on fire. Told y'all this is going to get wild. He was going to set her dog on fire and she told me, no, don't do anything to the dog. You can take me and do whatever you're going to do, but don't do anything to the dog. Hill's body was discovered 2 days later by police when her townhome went up in flames. Beale said in an interview, and I'm going to play that interview. If you guys want to hear the interview, please let me know. I want to take a vote on that before we even get to that point. Do you guys want to hear the interview? I might be able to skip some of this story and go straight to the interview. Beale said he had no remorse for killing his girlfriend. When you snap, you don't think about remorse, is what he said. Now, 12 hours after Beale killed Hill, he headed to his adopted father's home, Clifton, Baxter, on Linda Court in Virginia Beach, where he killed the 73-year-old man. Beale said with him during that murder was his cousin, 32-year-old Downing McLean, who will become his third victim. He said, Beale and Donovan, the two of them got into an argument after he killed Baxter. I got fed up with him because he didn't think I was helping him. So I said, man, I just killed two people. Do you think I'm not ready to shoot again? Beale said. I went right into the kitchen and shot him in the head. It's about to get wilder. Like Deontay. He shot him in the head, but he didn't drop and he kept moving. So I shot him in the back to make sure that he hit the ground. Now, the way that he describes it in the video, I'm going to just save that part because I know the story. I'm going to just save that part, and I just want y'all to hear it from him. 3 days in a row, 3 victims. Beale told Donovan, the reporter, he then went to Hampton on Thursday, taking McLean's girlfriend as a hostage to chill in an Airbnb and watch the manhunt for himself on the news. So he was watching the news talking about the police looking for him. I was watching y'all's broadcast and y'all did some good broadcasts, he said. He said while in his Airbnb, he was plotting on who he was going to kill next. I was definitely looking for more people, but choosing my people wisely. 1 week after Beale started on his killing spree, he was caught by U.S. Marshals. Now, from behind bars, the admitted killer says he has a message for those who watch. You just admitted to killing 3 people, and your advice to people at home is to go check on your loved ones. Yes, because if they don't check, they don't know someone is dead since last Tuesday. Boy, this is wild. But check this out. Remember how I talk about, see if I can grab my shirt, my hand is a little handicapped. See this symbol? People who are channel members on my channel are able to type this emoji because I have some special emojis that only they have access to. And it says, hashtag date thugs, date death. When you date thugs, you date death. That's what this shirt means. Beale has a criminal history dating back to 2005. Because I want you guys to remember, because I actually had somebody in my comment section recently arguing with me that background checks don't tell you everything you need to know about a person. Actually, tried to make a point about that. My point when I tell people it probably would be wise for you to get a background check. No, a background check is not going to tell you everything you need to know about a person. Paperwork does not do that. But what it does do is it should give you an idea about the person if you are able to find some things on their record. Let's just say if they have a murder conviction on their record, if they have some robberies on their record, if they have some domestic violence on their record, these might be some yellow and red flag indicators that maybe you need to be more cautious about who you're dating. It is not an end-all, fix-all. But you know what? The people who are listening are smart. The people who are listening are smart. I know it's some people that just, they it takes them a while to catch on. So I get it. But he has a criminal history dating back to 2005. Armed robbery and sexual assault on a child. Ooh, let me say that again. Armed robbery and sexual assault on a child. If y'all would, please hit that thumbs up. I want to make sure that y'all share this story. Please let me know that you heard what I just said so I don't have to repeat that again. These are just a few of the crimes for which he's actually done prison time for. Not been accused of, not been slandered, proven in court, done prison time. Y'all catch that? Now, according to court documents, Beale pleaded guilty to sexual battery with a child younger than 13 years old. Let's do a little math here real quick. Younger than 13 years old. What do you call an individual that is grown who has sex with a child that is under the age of 13 years old? Let's see if we can get our terminology correct today. Let me see if I can find his age real quick. I don't see it, but it shouldn't take me too long to find it. Let's see here. He is 30 years old. He's 30 years old, and this happened, let me scroll back, 2005. $17 years ago, so yeah, he was definitely over age at that point. See if I can get my... I didn't do that right. Minus 2005. So 17 years minus 30. No, that can't be right. That's not right. That's not right. He's 30. So he's 30 years old minus 17 years. Is that right? That's not right. Is it? 20. Huh. That can't be right because they're saying he did prison time. So I'm assuming he was 17. I don't know. But nonetheless, that's what they're saying. They're saying that he did this back in 2005. Armed robbery and sexual assault on a child are just a few of the crimes in which he served prison time for. According to documents, Beale pleaded guilty to sexual battery with a child younger than age 13. Yes, that would be a pedophile. A hebephile is after prepubescence. Prepubescence is pedophile. So if y'all guys didn't know that, that's the difference between a hebephile and a pedophile. Okay? He was sentenced to a year in prison in 2018 for sexual abuse that happened in 2005. How did they do that? Because of a plea agreement with Beale pleading guilty, the charge was reduced to a misdemeanor under the condition that Beale will register as a sex offender. Beale registered with the sex offender registry in 2018 and again in 2020, listing his address at Virginia Beach. The News 3 combed through documents and they revealed that Beale pleaded guilty to several charges in 2012. This is all on record, including conspiracy, 2 separate charges of robbery, including armed robbery and use of a firearm by a felon. Beale served 6 years in prison for those crimes under the condition of good behavior after his release and supervised probation. He was released under the condition of having good behavior upon release, but in 2019, he was arrested for a violation of his probation. According to court documents, his last known place of employment was at a thrift store. Virginia Beach Police Chief Paul N., I can't pronounce his last name, described Beale as a very dangerous individual. On Thursday, News 3 confirmed that Cola Beale IV's biological father, Cola Winbone Beale, was arrested in 2014 for the murder of a 47-year-old Gaithersburg woman. The victim was identified as June Carlita Beale, his wife. So his biological father murdered his wife in 2014. Talk about the apple falling real close to the tree. Beale IV is in jail under no bond. He faced the judge Friday, and it was decided that his preliminary hearing will be on June the 2nd. So that, of course, that's a little while from now at 8:30 a.m. So you guys can follow that. June the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. He was also appointed a public defender who will visit him in the next 48 hours. Public defender said Friday that he will likely have Beale undergo a mental health evaluation. That's also something else we could talk about. And they said they reached out to the victim's family, who asked for privacy at this time. So, of course, they didn't want to talk. Let me ask you guys this. Based on what you heard, could this be considered Could this be considered that he was suffering from mental health? Because we're going to have to start being fair across the board. We've had men killing babies, women killing babies, men killing women, women killing men. And it seems like it's only been one-sided, where women, a lot of times, they automatically ask, well, what was she going through mentally? What was her mental state? Let's give her a mental evaluation. But the men, they're just like, no, he's crazy. He's insane. Lock him up, throw away the key. Should he be given consideration to mental illness? And again, he's got a court date coming up. And I'm not so sure how much that public defender is going to help, especially after he willingly gave out this interview. And if you guys want to hear the interview, here we go. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I don't know how much help that public defender is going to give him at all. But here we go. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And let me warn you again, the videos I'm about to show you are going to be his interview, and he's going to give graphic detail, and I'm going to try to let them play out. I tried to grab the shortest videos and the ones that are the most clear as far as volume, so you guys should be able to hear it without an issue. But he's going to give graphic details about murders that he committed. If you cannot handle that, then you need to exit the video now. That is your disclaimer. That is your warning. That is your whatever. To those who like to try to flaggy my videos, right? Okay, here we go.
And while Beale sits in jail, people who knew his victims say they will sleep a little bit easier tonight. Beale was on the run from authorities for days. Some neighbors tell us they feared for their own lives.
This case has also prompted community advocates to share a strong message about violence prevention. Angelique Garantok picks up our team coverage.
It's shocking.
Nearly 1 week ago, Virginia Beach police found Clifton Baxter,
A very kind, caring, and loving person,
dead inside his home on Linda Court. Cola Beale says Baxter helped raise him, even calling him dad.
I snapped on my cousin for a simple reason. I snapped on my dad for a reason. And I snapped on my girlfriend for a different reason.
An anonymous neighbor tells me it's a relief knowing Beale is behind bars. From jail, Beale spoke about his biological father, who is also serving time.
He tried to kill my mom when I was almost, 6 months old?
And that wasn't all.
That was when I was locked up, when I was doing my 6-year bid. He killed his wife.
Robin Gaudier with Virginia Beach-based nonprofit Samaritan House says there are ways to break cycles of violence.
As long as there's intervention and children can be helped and given services, then there's not an absolute that they're going to become an abuser.
She believes that bystanders play a crucial role.
Please say something to that victim and slip them a phone number.
And Gaudier says there are also professionals who can help if you spot red flags with a partner or relative.
We do danger assessments with anyone who contacts us on our hotline.
And while she recognizes that we may never know the full story behind Beale and his girlfriend's relationship, Gaudier hopes others hear this message loud and clear.
When you have that gut feeling that things aren't going well, aren't going right, follow that gut feeling and get out of that situation as quickly as you can.
A confession from jail. The man accused of killing 3 people across Hampton Road says he did it and feels no remorse. Police arrested Cola Beale last night. Today he spoke with Eugene Daniel and said he planned to kill more people. Eugene.
Yeah, Janet, that's right. Cola Beale admitted to the murders, and in a chilling interview, he said he had more victims in mind if police didn't catch him.
Are you prepared to take whatever penalty a judge or a jury decides?
I'm glad to take whatever it is, because I don't live my life here. This is over with now.
From inside a Virginia Beach jail, Cola Beale confesses to murder. Caught on camera, the 30-year-old admits to shooting his girlfriend, his cousin, and a father figure in a matter of days.
Most of the times when people see something happen like this, the person that do it don't ever get to tell their side of the story. So I stopped. Yes, I snapped.
Beale is charged with 3 murders, 2 of the shootings happening in Virginia Beach, the other in Norfolk.
I shot her in the head.
Beale said he shot and killed his girlfriend, Xavier Hill, when the two got into an argument over their relationship.
I was saying red. So when I put the dog in the room, I was about to set the dog on fire. And she told me, she said, no, don't do nothing to the dog. You can take me and do whatever you want to do to me instead and let him live. So I did that.
Beale admits to setting Hill's house on fire 2 days later. Police later found her body inside.
I was definitely looking for more people, but I was choosing my people wisely.
His next victim, 73-year-old Clifton Baxter, shot to death inside his Virginia Beach home.
He basically raised me. So at the same time, when I needed this and that, just something to get on my feet, he tell me he ain't had nothing. But when I killed him, I found like $20,000.
Beale admitted to taking that money and said Downing McLean, his cousin, was with him at the time of the murder. Beale said he later shot and killed McLean when the two got into an argument in Norfolk.
I got fed up with him because he kept talking like you not about this, you not gonna do nothing. Like, bro, I just killed 2 people. You don't think I'm ready to shoot again?
Beale says he then took McLean's girlfriend as a hostage and says she was with him when police found him in an Airbnb in Hampton last night.
If they hadn't picked me up, last night, I definitely would have got out and let out some more steam, because at the end of the day, nobody hears you when you talking regular. You got to do something like this, and now everybody in your face trying to ask you questions.
And Beale said he had nearly 20 guns on him and was ready to live life on the run. When asked if he's sorry,
I don't feel no remorse about none of this at all. When you snap, you don't think about remorse.
Okay. Look, guys, I know that was a lot to absorb. Woosah. Woosah. Okay. Let me address a couple of the many things he said. Let's talk about some of the last things that he said. Okay. So some of y'all heard something about a $20,000. From what I understand, the man who helped raise him, his stepfather, was the man who somehow had $20,000. Some type of way he had $20,000. I guess it sounds like in cash, I suppose. So he was going through hard times like a lot of us do, right? A lot of us go through hard times. And so he apparently reached out to him at one point and asked him, you know, hey, can you help me with some money? And I think he was saying that he was asking for about $1,000, and $1,000 is a lot, whether you have $20,000 or not. That's still a lot of money to be handing over to somebody who really doesn't seem to have any direction about their life, right? So he was asking him for $1,000, and somehow I guess he knew that this man had money. So on top of the disagreement that he had with him, he went and killed and found the $20,000, took it, and that's what he ran with. Here's a little bit of an issue that I heard before we go to our next video. What do you think? You said it was probably his savings. Now it could have been. Let me say that, because I mean no disrespect to the family. But again, I'm just asking questions because that's just the way that my mind works. But I don't know a lot of people who are doing it legitimately, who just have tens of thousands of dollars just sitting around their house. And I could be wrong. Maybe that's a commonplace thing for people to do, to just have $20,000 laying around. But a lot of people who aren't living reputable lives tend to have that kind of money laying around. Not the people who are law-abiding citizens looking towards their future. Like I say, I could be completely wrong. I don't know this man. I don't know his family. I don't know the situation. I wasn't there. Just to clarify, in case some of y'all thought I might have been there. No, I was not there. This is pure speculation. I'm just asking, because there are a lot of things about this that make absolutely no sense. But it's about to get worse, because he's going to tell even more details.
This midday, we want to get you caught up on breaking news just into the Wavy newsroom. We have several new updates in the case of the Norfolk man accused in a killing spree that left 3 people dead.
We did some digging, and it turns out the father of the suspect killed his stepmother in 2014. Cola Beale IV was arrested late last night in Hampton after U.S. Marshals, Norfolk Police, and Virginia Beach Police worked together to pick him up. Beale is the son of Cola Beale III, who was convicted of killing his own wife in Maryland back in 2014. It is a lot to unpack. So let's get to 10 on your side's John Dowding live in the newsroom now to walk us through this new information. John?
All right, well, Don and Katie, we first learned that this isn't the first homicide investigation involving the Beale family. As you said, the father, Cola Beale III, was arrested back in 2014. The victim from 8 years ago, Beale's wife, June Beale. Police found her dead in the Beale's home and arrested Beale III in Norfolk. Back then, the medical examiner says June's cause of death was blunt force trauma. A year later, he was found guilty of killing June and sentenced to a mandatory 25-year prison sentence. Now, fast forward to last week. Cola Beale IV is now behind bars, accused of killing 3 people in Hampton Roads. First, last Thursday, police found 31-year-old Xavier Hill dead in her home on Baccalaureate Drive near Virginia Wesleyan University. What started as a fire investigation turned into a homicide. Police say Hill was shot to death and confirmed she and Hill were dating at the time. Then on Friday, a fatal shooting on Linda Court in Virginia Beach. Officers found 73-year-old Clifton Baxter dead from a gunshot wound. After Beale's own father went to prison, neighbors say Baxter became a father figure and raised Beale. Then Monday, police found 32-year-old Downing McLean dead in a home on Sewell's Point Road in Norfolk. We just learned he also died from a gunshot wound. McLean and Hill were friends, would often play video games together. Now, police say Beale knew all 3 of these victims, and these were not random crimes. Just like his father, Beale IV is in jail right now, facing multiple homicide charges. He has an arraignment in court tomorrow in Virginia Beach, and my colleague, investigative reporter Julie Millay, is in court right now looking for more information on these connections.
All right, now, here are the interviews, so brace yourselves. It's about to get real.
Nah, I was just to the point where I already knew after the first one, it was a wrap. You know what I mean? I had enough ammo to kill a lot of more people. But you know what I mean, I guess it's thankful that the U.S. Marshals got me through whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely was about to get out the next day and do something. Nah.
Why?
Because what's done is done. I ain't gonna have no remorse. They ain't gonna have no remorse. So, I mean, I'm gonna keep it just like I sent it. I did everything individually for a different reason. Nah, for what? I mean, I'm about to, you know what I mean? I'm not living no more. I'm just here. I'm just in jail right now. Had I just got into a shootout with the U.S. Marshals, I would have been dead or still on the run if they ain't finished me. So I wouldn't even be sitting right here in front of you. I just sit right here in front of you because the house that was next to me in the Airbnb had 2 little boys in it and a family, and I knew they was in the house, so I knew if I came out shooting, it was a chance they could have got killed. I ain't want my kids to get killed, so I ain't even come out shooting. I let the shorty go, and I just walked out. I mean, I ain't even do it. I could have shot it out to the death. It ain't matter.
So apparently, it was somebody else, I guess, that was next door at another Airbnb or at a house next door, and he saw kids out playing, which was the only reason why he didn't do more, I guess, from what he was saying. If y'all would, please hit that thumbs up. If you're listening, we want to try to have 1 thumb up for everybody watching. Help share this video, but please hit that thumbs up. We got a lot more to listen to. I'm going to play a couple more videos from him.
I was asleep. I had just took a shower and I was asleep. I was playing some music. I just lay down, went to sleep, and I heard this big truck come up. It was like an army truck come up. Every time I looked out the window, they kept saying left, right, left, right. I knew it was them.
Did you want to get caught?
Hell no. When you on the run, that's the whole point, not to get caught. I mean, keep doing as much damage as you can do and keep staying on the run. I mean, who goes on the run and want to get caught? The dog died in the fire, but I let the dog live because that's what she told me to do. She said, look, don't hurt him. I was gonna set him on fire. She said, don't hurt him. He had nothing to do with this. This is all my fault. This is me. She said it was her fault because she let her mom come in and kind of mess with her head. I said, look, man, don't you? I said, so that's how you feel. She was like, look, whatever you gonna do to him, do it to me. So that's when I shot her in the head. Set that on fire, set the car on fire. I even ran through the fire trying to get out. I almost got locked into the fire. She already was ready. She was ready to go. Like, she went out fight. She was ready to go. She was like, nah, I'll take that. So I left the dog alive, but then I came back to the house and set it on fire, and then I watched the dog burn alive. Nah, hell no. Because now I got a son that I got a son now that I probably won't be able to talk to anymore. Or if his mom is cool, or however it goes, however their life goes behind my actions, I just hope that he can break it. That's why I ain't give him my last name. That's why I ain't give him my name. He 3. That's why I ain't give him my name, so he ain't got to worry about living with this name. Yeah, I have a lot to say. Even a week before this happened, I left a video recording in his tablet at his grandma's house. So if something ever happened to me, he can listen to it. And it was just kind of like building him up, kind of like talking to him as if I was gone already. Like, for some reason, it felt like I was leaving like I was about to leave the world anyway. So I had already left him like a farewell message way before I felt all this. And it was wild because now this happened. I didn't see this happening. But I recorded a video in his tablet, so if he ever see it getting older, he'll know what I meant for him. So, if I were to say something to him now, I'd say continue to be strong, pay attention, be the best he can be, be there, protect his mom, take care of his grandma while he here, listen to his mom. And for whatever else he could do, stay active and like something that can keep his mind focused on what he want to do. And I love him. You know what I'm saying? And my daughter as well. She should be 13.
And now at 6, 3 confessions in 30 minutes.
Cola Beale, a man who tells us he went on a killing spree last week in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, had no problem admitting he shot and killed 3 of his close contacts. And he told our Chelsea Donovan he was looking for more victims.
Now, we do want to caution our viewers. The details of this story may be disturbing to some of you. Now, Chelsea Donovan, she sat down with Beale in a very candid interview today. This was just unbelievable.
Yeah, surreal, Barbara. I asked why Cola Beale decided to talk to us today. He said he had no problem telling the truth, and there was no reason for him to plead not guilty. He said he had a reason for killing each of his 3 victims, and before he got caught, he says he was ready to kill more.
So did you shoot your girlfriend and burn her house down?
Yeah, I did.
Just seconds into our half-hour-long conversation in the Virginia Beach jail, 30-year-old Cola Beale candidly admits to killing his girlfriend. 31-year-old Xavier Hill.
I had the breaking point when her mom kept calling and she was crying like, so what is he gonna do?
Beale said he was fed up with her parents interfering in their relationship and her attitude changed. So he says he snapped inside her Virginia Beach home on Tuesday of last week.
Where'd you shoot her?
I shot her in the head. So when I put the dog in the room, I was about to set the dog on fire. And she told me, she said, no, don't do nothing to the dog. You can take me and do whatever you want to do to me instead and let him live. So I did that.
Hill's body was discovered 2 days later by police.
So you killed her Tuesday, set her house on fire on Thursday?
Exactly.
Do you have remorse for killing your girlfriend?
When you snap, you don't think about remorse, you just snap it.
12 hours later, Beale tells me he headed to his adopted father's home on Linda Court in Virginia Beach, the home of 73-year-old Clifton Baxter.
When I killed him, I found like $20,000.
Beale said he had beef with Baxter for not helping him financially. With him during that murder, 32-year-old Downing McLean, his cousin, who would soon become his third victim. Beale told me the two of them got into an argument after he killed Baxter.
I got fed up with him because he kept talking like you not about this, you not gonna do nothing. Like, bro, I just killed 2 people. You don't think I'm ready to shoot again? So I went right in the kitchen and shot him right in the head. He didn't drop. He just kept moving in circles. Then I shot him in the back to make sure he hit the ground.
3 days in a row, 3 victims. Beale tells us he went to Hampton on Thursday with his cousin's girlfriend as his hostage to chill out in an Airbnb as he watched the manhunt for himself on the news.
So, I mean, I was definitely watching y'all broadcasts. I did some good broadcasts.
He said while in that Airbnb, he was plotting who to kill next.
I was definitely looking for more people, but I was choosing my people wisely.
Tuesday night of this week, the U.S. Marshals caught him 1 week after Beale says he started his killing spree.
Do you feel any remorse for
I
killing
don't feel
3?
no remorse about none of this at all. When you snap, you don't think about remorse. That's not something that comes to your mind when you're snapping.
Now, from behind bars, the admitted killer says he's got a message for those watching.
You've just admitted to us to killing 3 people, and your advice to people at home is to go check on their loved ones?
Yes, because somebody checked on their loved ones, but they didn't know they was dead on Tuesday.
What he means by Tuesday is that's when he killed, allegedly, his girlfriend. Now, he's in jail right now under no bond. He'll face a judge tomorrow. We reached out to the families of the victims. They asked for privacy at this time.
Well, Chelsea, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. You were in the room with a man who admitted to killing 3 people, went into great detail about how he killed his cousin. What was that room like? Tell me about the atmosphere in there.
I think myself and the photographer were just in a state of shock. It was surreal. I mean, we've been doing this a long time, and normally 100% of the time you get someone that says, I didn't do this, I'm not guilty. He was very forthcoming, and it was very jarring just to hear him say, I killed her, I burned her house down, and then I went on and killed 2 others. So definitely not something we expected to walk into.
Absolutely. Wow. It's just amazing to me, especially since you said after so many years. This will be interesting to watch the more developments we have.
And we'll, of course, learn more tomorrow in court.
Okay, now, I know you guys have a lot of thoughts. Let me clarify a couple things because I know we're live right now, so I'll be able to read some of your thoughts and opinions in the chat. Somebody said he talks like he's proud, and that is a gang attitude. Well, let me clarify because I'm familiar with gangs. I grew up when gangs first started. Very familiar with gangs, but let me tell you this. This is not a gang mentality. And he was not talking like he was proud. That's not what this was. This is something very different, very unique. And I'm not saying there haven't been cases like this. But what you have is somebody who clearly has some mental issues. Clearly has some mental issues for whatever reason. Maybe he felt like his world ended because his girlfriend was getting ready to leave him because of the parents telling him, hey, this is not a good person for you to be with. But at the same time, you also have to remember what I've been telling people for a long time now. And I've been saying if you get a background check and find out what's on a person's background, that might give you an indicator as to who this person is and what they might be capable of doing. With him having such a long rap sheet, his girlfriend, what they call her, Shazavier. I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong, but that would have at least given her some kind of an indicator to let her know if this is somebody you should be dating. There should be no getting involved with a person like this. There should be no dating of a person like this. And I continue to say this. There are a lot of men who are just regular dudes out there that get passed up all the time, but it is always our convicts, our felons, people who have done prison time have no trouble getting women and getting in relationships. Tell me what I said wrong about that. There is no shortage of criminals and thugs getting ass. having sex, having babies, getting a second, third, fourth, and fifth chance to deal with a woman after you've beat women up, after you've robbed people, after you probably have killed people, done prison time, got multiple felonies on your record, made it very difficult for you to try to rebuild your life and become a reputable citizen in the United States. You've made it very difficult on yourself behind your own choices. To clarify another point, this is not gang member activity or gang mentality. That's not what this was. For him, this was all personal. He felt like people did me wrong, and the people that did me wrong are the people that are going to pay. You understand the difference? Do we even need to go into what gang mentality is, what gangs are created for, what the history of gangs are? If you're not familiar with gangs, there should be no reason anybody should be saying gangs in the chat at all. This ain't gang activity. That ain't what this is. Watch a documentary on the history of gangs. You will understand this ain't nothing like that. This was flat out personal and emotional. Can somebody type that in the chat? This was personal and emotional. And she actually had a YouTube channel. She was not a YouTube, but I think either on Facebook or YouTube, one or the other. But she was actually out trying to make inspirational videos and stuff. And I always find that crazy when people are trying to fix somebody else's life when their lives are completely jacked up. I don't mind a person aspiring to be something great and try to do some good things and speak from the heart. That's cool. But she had been involved with this dude for a while. And if you just look at his rap sheet, there was no reason for anybody to be dating him. He hadn't even got his life together. He doesn't even have a job where he can sustain himself, right? I had a conversation with a young lady a week ago. I'm not sure if she's going to pop up in the chat or not and tell you whether I'm right about this or not. But we were talking about relationships, and I said that really nobody needs to be in a relationship until they get their shit together. It's not about the man being able to take care of a woman or a woman being able to take care of a man. Two individuals that are thinking about trying to make a unity of a household both need to have their shit together. How about that? Now, if a man decides, hey, you don't have to work and then you could just live off of that man, fine. But you need to come into the game with your own. And what happened in this case, like it happens in so many cases, is that he didn't really have a way to sustain himself. Working a job, that's cool. He probably got the only job that he could get that would hire a multiple time felon. That's at least a start. That's good, but it's a long road to recovery. So he was more or less depending and living off of her. She was all he had. Without her, he dies. Without her, he dies. Without a tick having a host, the tick dies. He is the tick. She was his host. She decided that I'm ready to leave him. I'm ready to leave my thug. Mama then finally talked sense into her, and she's ready to leave her thug. And as soon as she pulls that tick off, then that tick knows if I get pulled off of here, I'm not going to survive. So what he decided to do was end her life and take advantage of other people that he felt like did something to him personally. If you think about it, the man, the elder man, and I want to retract what I said earlier about why he would have kept $20,000 at his house. And I realized that they said he was like 73 years old. So that actually does kind of make sense. If you're at the retirement age, you probably will have money on you because you're probably trying to travel, live life, pay bills. And somebody in the chat said it earlier. Maybe you don't trust banks. especially being an elder, especially when they're talking about trying to cut off Social Security benefits and stuff like that. So I retract what I said earlier. So we're doing this live, so I can do that so you guys understand that I am making a retraction there. That seems very plausible why he would have $20,000. But that also makes more sense why he would have told this fool, no, I can't give you $1,000, dude. If you think about that, a person who has lived to be 73 years old has worked their entire life to have this sum of money. And you're going to give him a large chunk of it? With you being an elder, you won't be able to really go out and go get another. You can't just go out and just go work and just go earn money like that anymore. You have to make every dollar count. So yes, to me, it makes sense. To people who got common sense, it makes sense that you would have told him, no, son, I can't give you $1,000. I can't do that. But in his twisted little mind, he felt like he was slighted. He felt like he was done wrong. And what did he do? He took his little self-serving revenge out on the man who had been a semblance of a father to him and ended up finding $20,000. His cousin, who was helping him, I guess, commit these acts, these crimes, these violent crimes, ended up saying something to him that pissed him off. And he said, look, dude, I just killed 2 people. You don't think I'll kill somebody else? And he ended up shooting him. Didn't even give him a chance to think about it. And finished him off. That's personal. All of that was personal. He said he was going to go do more. Well, I'm assuming that he was probably going to just try to kill everybody who either made him mad, talk bad about him, talk crazy about him. But guess who he probably really wanted to kill? The person who he probably really wanted to kill more than anybody was his girlfriend's mom. In his reality, if he could have done it all over again, he probably would have started with his girlfriend's mom first. Because in his mind, he feels like that's where all of his troubles started. So I want to say this. Are there kids involved? He has kids. I don't know if the girlfriend had kids, but if she didn't, if they didn't have kids between each other, I guess that's something partially positive, that his kids are going to have to deal with the knowledge of all of this and being in the media and all of that stuff. But more times than none, it's usually these mothers who get with men like this for whatever reason, because you look at these pictures look cute. They look like they're a cute couple and they look like, oh, they're so cute. And too many times, and I got to say this to y'all women because I love y'all, and I tell y'all this because I love y'all. Y'all focus too much on the way that things look and the way that things feel rather than what you know and what is tangible. We have completely taken facts out of who we deal with, logic out of who we deal with, and strictly deal on emotions and feelings. And I can almost guarantee you with this girlfriend, all she did was feel and was emotional. Didn't even bother looking at his criminal record. And I can almost guarantee you, if he was on probation, his probation officer needs to know where he's at. He could have been wearing an ankle monitor, who knows? But I can almost guarantee you that his girlfriend knew that he was on probation. So that means she knew that he had a history. So that means she knew that she went into this knowing that this fool was jacked up, which is probably why the mom find out and tell her, hey, you need to get out of this. Hashtag, when you date thugs, you date death. I just keep wondering How many more of these stories am I going to have to present for those who listen at home, for those who are in these situations and continue to stay in these situations, or to continue to engage in these situations? I'm not saying go out and go get the man that you think is a lame and unattractive and he not funny and he ain't got no swag. And I'm not telling you do what you want to do. But when you make your bed, lay in it. I feel so sorry for that young lady, because I heard her speak on her YouTube video or her inspirational video, whatever she was making. And she sounded like a very nice girl. But our choices could lead us to some very dark places, and we have to be more aware of who we're dating, what we're doing, and what are we trying to accomplish. We have to be a hell of a lot more careful and be a lot more diligent. So all we're going to end up finding out in this story is what date they're going to give him the electric chair. That's pretty much it. But let me know what you guys think about this story. If I've said something that you disagree with, you can post it in the comment section. But let's have a conversation about it. Be respectful about it. But understand, that's my opinion about this story, okay? But thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart. Thank you. Also, RIP to the lives that were lost senselessly in this story.